Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport and the start of what may be a new series on the channel as we go back and look at all the Formula E races that have happened up to this point. Starting at the very beginning, obviously. I mean, where else do you start? So before we do a watch along of the very first Formula E race from Beijing in 2014, let's do a preview of the series, just to refresh ourselves of the teams and drivers that took part and look at the tracks from Season 1. Back when we had drivers swapping cars midway through the race. An impenetrable rulebook that was as hard to understand as this country's COVID restrictions, and Nelson Piquet Jr. being a somewhat decent driver. And of course, a start to all the chaos we now associate with Formula E. So make sure you subscribe and let's begin.
Welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport.
Virgin. They had a formidable lineup on paper with Sam Bird and Jaime Alguersuari, although Alguersuari maybe showed why he was sacked by Toro Rosso and gave up motor racing for DJing. He was later replaced in the year by Fabio Lima. The former GP2 champion would also give up on motor racing not long after this season, but Sam Bird has gone on to be a legend of Formula E. He's now taken 10 wins in the series, but was definitely the pick of the bunch in Season 1. Mahindra. Two former Formula 1 drivers sounds good until you realise it's Bruno Senna and Karun Chandhok. Funnily enough, they were teammates at HRT in 2010. We will see a few point scoring finishes from the pair, but nothing spectacular. Dragon. Jerome D'Ambrosio was a very good race driver, I don't care what anybody says, and I personally think he excelled in Formula E. Oriol Servia and Loic Duval should have been steady hands, and in fact Servia scored points in every single Formula E race he entered, all 4 of them. Duval would now a couple of podiums also. Dragon were a good team back in the day. Renault Edams. They looked like the team to beat. In fact, I was surprised Sebastian Buemi was beaten to the first championship, but Edams were still team champions, and Nicolas Prost probably had his dad to thank for his place in the team, and whilst he ruined Nick Heidfeld's best chance of winning, he was a steady hand for the team. Buemi has been an awesome Formula E driver until 2021 when he raced like a blind penguin on crack. Trulli Formula E team. I forgot Jarno Trulli had a Formula E team. I definitely forgot most of the drivers who raced for it ever existed. There is Jarno Trulli of course, and we will see many a Trulli train in this first season, along with Michele Cerruti and Alex Fontana, and Vitantonio Liuzzi making a few appearances in between. Audi. This pairing was around for 5.5 years. Lucas Di Grassi is one of the greatest to grace Formula E. Daniel Abt cheated in a charity race. That's all you need to know really. Lucas Di Grassi was at the top right at the start, somewhat fortunately maybe, but you can't fault Lucas Di Grassi. Venturi. The team that brought the old boys into Formula E, and Nick Heidfeld nearly rewarded them with the first ever Formula E win, until Nicolas Prost had his say. The ever unlucky Heidfeld was a top driver for the team, joined by the multi-talented Stefan Sarazan, who has raced in every series going. He found Formula E a bit tougher than Heidfeld in the first season, but even he would go on to get some decent results. Andretti. The American team took the strategy of try every single driver going and just see what sticks. Some of them were very good like John-Eric Verne, others were not so good such as Scott Speed. Actually Speed did alright if I'm honest, and it does hurt me to say, but he was also joined by Frank Montagny, Charles Pic, Matthew Brabham, Marco Andretti, Justin Wilson and Simone Di Silvestro. Verne was the best of the bunch, but it's surprising how long it took him to become the success story he eventually did. You know, double champion and 10 wins, being linked with Formula 1 drives late in his career. Amlin Aguri. God bless Aguri Suzuki for trying to have a successful international single-seater team. Super Aguri did so well in Formula 1, he thought he'd have another go in Formula E. He even brought Takuma Sato and Sakon Yamamoto, who finished last of the 35 drivers involved. Other drivers include a very young Antonio Felix da Costa, Catherine Legg, making it 3 women who raced in the first Formula E Championship, and Salvador Duran, who was also there. China Racing / Nextev / Neo. Yet the team that had a car that looked like a bleached toilet and are normally last in the standings actually won the first Drivers' Championship. when Crashgate specialist Nelson Piquet Jr. took the crown. You wouldn't believe it if you didn't hear it here first. Chinese superstar, and by that I mean the pretty average Ho Pin Tung, also did a few races, along with sports car specialist Antonio Garcia, Charles Peake, who did double duty with Team China and Andretti, and Oliver Turvey, who remains with the team to this day, probably missing the days when they had a car capable of winning. It's going to be fun watching this team slide down the leaderboard. So that is the teams and drivers. We had some pretty amazing tracks in that first year also. Malaysia, China, Argentina, Uruguay and Russia. We had Miami and Long Beach in America, as well as the more normal rounds in Berlin, London and Monaco. What I am most looking forward to is going back and watching the drivers switch cars. It makes so little sense in hindsight, but I thought it was the best thing since sliced bread when they did it in season 1. It's going to be an interesting series, so make sure you subscribe. I haven't watched these races for a long time, so it's going to be fun going back and watching them again. Leave a like and a comment, share the video, thank you for watching, and have a good one.